I think that was like a treat to the eyes and the soul, the video that you saw now. Amazing work that these children and teachers are doing. Hats off to you, Poornima. We move on to the
Thank you.
next round, which is the question and answer round. So, our first
Yes.
question for the day, Poornima, is how do the students manage as pass outs entering into a more diverse world than your school?
So I would say that we've not had many pass out. I should be honest. Around 15 children have passed out till now, because when they started very early in our school. Like in the beginning, there were 3 years to 10 years. Our oldest was a 10-year-old child, 11 years back. So we've had 15, actually this year another 2. Yeah, we've had 17 children who have passed out. And many people have chosen many things to do. But what has been important is if they are confident in what they're doing. One has gone to choose gender studies in America. 2 children have opted out of college. They did their IGCSE A levels and one did in NIOS, but they've said they want to do more ecology work. And so they've opted not to go to college and doing college by correspondence. So they want to do degree by correspondence. There's another child who's gone and joined the Azim Premji, in Bangalore, the APU. So there he's joined the humanities. We have one child who's joined Chennai in Stella Maris with economics. There's a child who is doing his with animals, like working with snakes in the snake park in Chennai. Also has opted to do BCom by correspondence, but working a lot with snakes because that was his passion. There are 2 more children. One has chosen to do fashion designing. Was very interested in natural dye, but I don't know. I hope she'll get the right sub fashion designing. There are 2, 3. One has got into an Ayurveda college in Kerala. I think one other child has gone back to his village. He's doing afforestation in his village, which is very next to Rishi Valley. The Rishi Valley school, his village, there was a boy who came from that village, and both the brothers have gone back to the village and started their own things like Marudam, which is beautiful to see. And they've started afforesting and possibly he might take into art because he loves painting. Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving a glimpse. But what is important is that it is a diverse world. But the question is, are we leaving our children nurtured and confident rather than competitive, I would say. Let's say that how do we define success? So what's been very important in Marudam is, let's say, a child who's going to APU now, this child who has joined for humanities, is enjoying his classes there. That's what I've heard. And so the lecturers keep saying, oh, thank you that Nithya has come here and everything. But at the same time, what are his challenges? And the challenges of this party culture in Bangalore, and it's been quite tough. It's not like that easy. But I also wonder, that doesn't mean that they have to not be part of group. The challenge of belonging somewhere, yet having the questioning space, comes from confidence. So we hope that children actually learn to question the system, not in what you call cynical way, but actually genuinely question what they feel is not all right, right? So it is, I would say, when someone passes out, are they still connected to the school? Yes, we do keep in contact with them. There are always this, yeah, they're super dedicated. No, Ganesh. Yeah, they're super dedicated. And I love this Azim Premji University because they're very much like Marudam, very open to integration and lovely teachers, and it's really nice to see. And so some of the children are aspiring to do sociology from there, and so it's nice. Yeah, we're just looking at. Only thing is, it's also sad that our colleges are not that dynamic. Not all colleges are dynamic. So for children who are aspiring to do very well in higher education, also need that support to go to spaces which are nurturing and which strengthens their independent learning. For sure.
Why can't we have alternate schools like we have been hearing of in the mainstream?
How do we define mainstream, right? First, let's understand that, right? We define mainstream. Do we define mainstream by all the people, many of the people in the world are doing? Like most of the people are part of. Is a society, is that true though? So are we contributing to the whole collapse of economic crisis today? Are we part of the whole globalization which has resulted in such large destructions? Are we part of an ever increasing, like we have no fish in the Pacific Ocean. We have like 90% of our fish, we have just overfishing just by killing fish, baby fish. Today we are left with, we've destroyed 90%. Can you imagine? Like, is that mainstream? Is the choices that we make in everyday life, where, like, let's say a child wants to like pursue their own interests, and then we are like really scared about how secure it will be, what the child will do for future, will they have a good what is called that solid balance in their bank account, are we going to be building where our own life is questioned and all the species are questioned? Are we going to build buildings which are going to last for another 200 years, 300 years for our children? So what is really a mainstream is the question, right? And if that comes, I would say alternate thinking, I think, is very crucial in wherever. Let's say you're in a corporate job and still there is a possibility for alternate thought, a question, isn't it? So isn't it? Isn't it? So the question is, are there seeds that in our school of questioning sown when they're in school, or are we making the children shut up, right? I think what should be nurtured is that the child should have, like your fearless educators. The whole program here is of soulful, fearless educators. So our children have to be fearless, right? Yeah. So I think definitely alternate thinking has a space in the mainstream. It's very important that these souls are there to question, to really challenge the mainstream. We've seen n number of people in the world who have changed, who are still changing the world. We can imagine today women education would have not been possible if Savitribai Phule was not there, or so many people. Like today, 2 days before, there was this Supreme Court judge who passed away in America, one of the most fabulous women. So there are so many people in the world who've contributed in so many ways that we have privilege today, right? So do we recognize those privileges? So our children should be able to be having gratitude towards the privileges and rights that we enjoy, right? And also question about the rights that have been violated or snatched from them. Like, let's say a farmer today has been never recognized as a profession. It's a profession, like Mr. Sainath says, it's a profession. How can you just treat farmers as laborers, right? It's a beautiful science by itself, and they have learned through generations. So today, if you ask a child, they should say, I'm a farmer, right? They don't have to say, oh, I'm only a farmer. So the whole mainstream food comes from land. And if you don't have a connection to land, yeah, so if you don't dare to have connection with the land, then you're losing something. So I think children, rather than takers in today's world, should be givers. And there, I think alternate schools have a space in mainstream. And I think many mainstreams have started recognizing that. Don't you think that? Yeah. I think people have started really thinking about, is this whole system really working? Yeah. We've seen it collapsing. We've seen it in front of our eyes. And we can't just pretend that we've not seen. Yeah. And Yeah, we just have to nurture ourselves. We have to like support ourselves in our journey. And we definitely can have, and I'm very ready, as Marudam, we always say, we never want to expand beyond 120 or 130 children, but we like to support lots of things like Marudam, wherever you start. I mean, you can have your own name, your own philosophy, culture, but definitely we are very open to young people as well as whoever wants to start these small pockets in the middle of mainstream or inside the mainstream, but that alternate thinking or questioning mind has come. And please get in touch. We're always there together with you all because it's not that we have figured out, nobody has figured out any solution in this world. It's a utopia if we think, it's a false that if we can say that we have all the answers, but we can try to support. Yeah.
Ma'am, please respond to the third question as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So the third question is, what steps should be taken by common parent to make kids learn about the safety of the environment? And what I mean, I think they wanted to say how they can be connected. I would say many parents, you should start with the spiders in your house, the cockroaches in your house, the little plant that grows in your balcony, the one that you look around, a little nest the kite is building right down across the tree, across the road. The pets and the animals that you have around. So the parents, you don't need a forest for your child to learn. You need the connection, to life. And if you're going to use all the pesticides all the time, insecticides, and kill all the cockroaches, you will not be able to learn about the cockroach. Yeah. Ooh, yucky! Look at the cockroach. If you keep shouting like that. So I know it's difficult because we're conditioned, but in this whole disaster of every time, it's the cockroaches which have lived. It's the insects that have lived for generations. Yeah. And today, I know, such a beautiful thing someone has posted, very lovely to read all these postings that you're putting. I'm constantly reading them. So beautiful. So imagine your spider, which is in your house, right, contributes to so much in symbiotic relationship. It's at catching the small flies that go around. Your lizards are catching all the flies and the mosquitoes which are around. The balance of nature, right? The frogs which are around. So important the frogs are, right? You have all these visitors. There's one beautiful anecdote somebody wrote about the sparrows and pigeons which try to make a nest in the flats, inside your whatever you call the apartments. And they are coming. They are relating to you. The crows, the most intelligent of animals, really. You can have a relationship with a crow, right? We've all experienced that.